entering a dimension of sound. You carefully come in through the threshold with wonder, yet skepticism. You see the faint shape of an outline of a robot arm petting a cat. You faintly hear the haunting sounds of a man playing a tambourine. The sound augments into two men playing with a soundboard. You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Stay a while and listen.
And now, where Nephilim news meets biblical views, you'll find broken memes and shattered dreams. Give it up for Basil and Gons.
You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Today is March 30th, 2020, episode 183, and this week, Fake Like the Sun and Control-Alt-Delete your memories. My name is Basil.
And this is Gons. Welcome to the live streamed podcast.
That's right, we're still doing it.
Live.
Essential
we're trying
employees.
To do it. Yeah. Yep, we're making it happen. And you know what? I don't like that title. Fake Like the Sun. It's not a good title. Yeah.
I know, I did a quick revision. You know, there's so many people who are upset about my googly eyes. I figured I got to do something to upset the cart on your side there too. You know, it's amazing.
Always.
So many people, they're like, I can't see his eyes. He must be a shill. If I was a shill, I'd be all, you know, I'd have a CGI face. I would be so much more trustworthy if I was a shill. But anyways, today we're just going to jump right into it because we have the normal length of show today. We're going to have to be sticking with our half-hour format because we got started a little late, and Guns, you got stuff to do.
Yep. Other virtual things going on.
Other virtual things.
Times.
So many virtual things. And so to jump right into it, Gons, are you ready for the Flippy Update?
Flippy Update.
Flippy Update.
Do you want fries with that?
That's right. Flippy Update. For those who don't know, we make a big point of tracking specifically robot arms. Our good friend Flippy, who flips burgers and is now going to be scanning your face to let you into buildings. But generally just the robot overlords who are taking our jobs, enslaving our children, and flirting with our spouses. And today I'm going to bring back a little bit of an old segment, Gons, and that's that's the Roomba Update.
Right. You have a Roomba that you've been using to clean the floor and suck up cat hairs and stuff for you.
Yeah. Again, for research purposes only. Research purposes only. I'm here to sacrifice for the good of the people, to help you know how the robots are going to take over your life. I now have 3 Roombas, Gons. I have 3 Roombas, and I have them all wake up at 8 in the morning to vacuum my quarantine cell. And the problem is, and I don't know, I got to put everybody on high alert because 3 days ago, a Roomba went full on missing. I cannot find him in the house. I cannot find him outside the house. I think he got tired of quarantining. I think he escaped and is just Roomba'd out into a field somewhere.
You know, that's happened to my cats growing up. I had a cat that ran away and then came back pregnant. So hopefully your Roomba doesn't come back with like an army of baby Roombas that
that's
all
how I
want
could get
to
more
creepily
Roombas
clean
for
your
free.
floors. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, let's get right into it here.
CRISPR. Cas9.
And the first story that I want to jump into, I think, is let me get this out of the way. All right. International Business Times. Scientists delete fearful memories of rats. Raises ethical questions. Yeah. And I think we talked about a long time ago, we reported on how they were able to implant certain memories in rats, I think. So this is kind of a different type of thing where they're directly attacking a certain type of emotion here. But It says some often wonder if they could erase bad memories of troubled past, while some say troubled makes one stronger. However, science can delete memories now. Yay. Researchers have
Yay.
deleted fearful memories of rats using CRISPR gene editing technology. China's Peking
That's
University
crazy.
researchers published a paper in Science Advances that used gene editing, the gene editing tool CRISPR-Cas9, to specifically remove only fearful memories from a rat. This would be helpful in treating chronic pathological diseases. Rats were trained for 3 weeks and were conditioned to react in fear. All right, conditioned them to react in fear, already happening to the human population at large. After the function-specific gene was knocked down by CRISPR in the rat's neural circuits that are responsible for fear memory, there was a significant reduction in reacting to the fearful conditions. Negative emotions are
Wow.
part of memory too and could become a burden when such things can't be forgotten, further causing pathological diseases like post-traumatic stress syndrome, said Yi Ming, co-author of the paper, said to ECNS. Chronic pain and stress and drug addiction, among others, belong to a class of pathological memories that are long-standing and difficult to be cleared from memory, especially when hard to know the exact mechanism to provide efficient treatment, he said. And then he gets into some of the ethical issues here, which are obvious. People have a problem with this. That would make sense. If this becomes a reality, it could take us to some ethical issues too. We are what our memories are. When some are deleted, it could fundamentally change who we are. For instance, pain can make us stronger to face challenges. As a saying goes, failures are the stepping stones to success. When some bitter memories are deleted in us, what would happen to the strength such memories have brought in us? Our relations are a result of our characters, and our characters are changed by deleting memories. How would relations stand? This kind of reminds me of the movie Memento. Did you ever see that movie, Basil?
Yeah.
How the memories are
Sure.
all backwards, and the guy's trying to figure out what's going on. And I remember watching it and being very confused the first time.
Yeah, and of course, like the infamous Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind.
Yeah,
The
that's the other
deleting
one.
memories.
Yeah.
You know what freaks me out about this, though? This is deleting memories at the genetic level, or at least
Yeah.
using gene editing to delete the memories. That's
Yeah.
that's a lot different than programming, reprogramming. Using some sort of mind control, whether it's EMFs or trauma based or whatever. This is at the level of DNA that they're actually deleting these memories. Which, of course, brings up a lot of, scary conspiracy theories about, vaccines being able to deliver CRISPR, alterations and things like that. What if, you talked about Mandela effect? There's been a lot of talk about chemtrails being used to alter DNA, deliver CRISPR CRISPR solutions and things like that.
Nanotechnology, nanobots or something to
Yeah, there you
nanoparticles
go.
to get into our bloodstream and all that. Yeah. Yeah,
Get a little
that could
CRISPR
definitely be
solution
going on.
together, distribute it to the mass population. Boom, we all forget about something that they don't want us to remember.
Yeah, and the whole adage about, the generations, that are coming up, they're so disrespectful of the older generation, and there's that generation gap. That's becoming programmed, It's part of the programming now. I mean, at a genetic level, that is pretty creepy that it's bypassing or enhancing itself with all the, stuff they can do through media and everything else. That side of control psychologically, now they're getting into the genetics.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Which it brings up a good point because, we often talk a lot about, a lot of different types of mind control, whether it's television programming or trauma-based mass mind control or chemical-based sedatives, things like that. And a lot of times, there's a lot of different camps. People would be like, no, the whole fluoride thing, that's just one thing. But then the EMFs and the 5Gs, that's where the real, it's a whole system, and this is just another stepping stone on the path of the entire system being geared towards controlling the population, which shouldn't surprise any of our listeners. But there you go. We're in a system-wide issue when it comes to this stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's it for that. I mean, is there anything else
Okay.
you got to say
No.
about that one?
I got to tell you about China.
Ooh, China.
Welcome to Chinese News!
Now, don't freak out, everybody. This is not Chinese news about COVID-19. We got some COVID stuff coming up a little bit later, but we have some non-COVID related China news, and this is from thesun.co.uk, so you can take it with whatever size grain of salt as you want. But the
Large
headline
one.
is this: Is it hot in here? China's artificial sun that's 6 times hotter than the real sun will be ready this year and could generate unlimited energy. Now, we've been following China and its its desires to control the universe. They had artificial moons going up, very beautiful. They've been talking about putting together this artificial sun, which we did report on the sort of first steps on the artificial sun last year, but apparently it's coming up quick. So here we go. The article reads: Scientists hope that the artificial sun will help harness the power of nuclear fusion. This could bring humanity a step closer to creating unlimited clean energy by mimicking reactions that naturally occur inside the sun proper. The artificial sun was first announced by Chinese researchers last November, but the project has just hit an important milestone. Chinese media reports that early trials have allowed researchers to create stunningly high temperatures. And they have this picture here, Gons, if you want to show it on the stream there. They got this super scary machine, of course, with a nice little Chinese flag sticking out of it. So you know who's responsible for melting a hole all the way down to the core of the earth and unleashing the oceans of lava.
Or down to
researchers,
the abyss, whatever shape you believe.
That's right. Yes,
is part of creation.
Fire this sucker up, it'll melt right down into the abyss, and that's when the locusts come out.
Yep.
Researchers are using a device called tokamak, which uses a powerful magnetic field to trap hot plasma. Our sun hits temperatures of around 15 million degrees Celsius at its core, but the plasma from China's here we go, coming in hot, cold read. But the plasma from China's artificial sun has reached an electron temperature of 100 million degrees Celsius and an ion temperature of 500 million degrees Celsius. I don't know what an ion or an electron temperature is, but it sounds sciencey and scary. Ions are what, quote, generate energy in the device. Duan Zuru, an official at the China National Nuclear Corporation, told Science and Technology Daily, the official newspaper of China's Ministry of Science and Technology. So the plan is to now bring the ion temperature to 100 million degrees too. Ion temperature is usually lower than electron temperature, so this may be difficult. The device, Duan said, needs to be tweaked to hit the goal. No kidding. As well as high pressure, nuclear fusion requires extremely high temperatures, which the artificial sun could provide. If successful, China will be able to provide a major helping hand in ITER, the International Thermonuclear Experimental Reactor. It's a major project involving scientists from 35 countries that aims to, quote, new energy sources using nuclear fusion. If nuclear fusion can be harnessed using a low energy method, it could allow for the creation of, quote, unlimited clean energy. China recently whoa, sorry, my browser just went nuts. Nope, that's the end of the article there. So there you go, Gons. I mean, this is reminiscent of some of the concerns that pop up with CERN. Over there in Switzerland, opening up some portals and things like that. I think trying to create a little mini sun on the Earth has just as many sort of spooky ramifications than anything going on over at CERN. What do you think?
Well, it's interesting because on one end with CERN or with quantum computing, you got to go to the very cold. You got to make it really, really cold to make some of that work. Whereas they're going the opposite way. They're trying to harness heat as much as possible. And nuclear fusion, the rumors have been around that this type of thing has been basically harnessed for a few decades maybe. but it's just not commercialized. It hasn't really been able to be publicly released as something that's viable for energy. But those are just rumors that I've heard, But hey, if it works, how high does it? How high does it? Does it just shoot off the ground, or does it float in the sky? What are they planning to do here?
No, it's just contained in a little metal box, basically.
Okay, so you're just like extracting energy from a little power thing, right?
No, Gons, I'm just a podcaster, just an essential employee of this podcaster.
I thought you know these things with your googly eyes. I thought
scientist.
Real.
I do. I am gonna look deeper into this with my giant eyes because that does sound like something we need to have a little bit better understanding of. And Chris something in the chat room says, "You'll shoot your eye out," comes to mind, and that's exactly how I feel about China right now.
Don't stare at the sun.
For your own good. Don't do this.
We don't have a jingle, but I do want to just mention this because it's fun. Weird source. I don't know about the source, but I'm gonna go ahead and share it anyway because it was a good headline. NJMMA News, whatever that is. To find a coronavirus vaccine, you need a new Manhattan Project. There you go.
Interesting.
That's it.
Of course, Manhattan Project being the perfect example of how you can get hundreds of thousands of people to keep something top secret, which is one of the main annoying arguments that anti-conspiracy theorists bring up. How can you get so many people to keep a secret? Well, we did it for a long time with about 100,000 people. So keeping secrets isn't as hard as you think if you got the power of the U.S. government behind you, baby. Maybe Q will get in there, though, and tell us some secrets that we don't know.
Oh, yeah. All the riddles.
Or we can just ask our CIA handlers. They should let us know.
Oh, yeah. Still nothing, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. You want to do a little bit of COVID stuff?
A little bit. Yeah, let's do a little bit. COVID. I love that. COVID.
Yeah. Very good.
This is a journal that was published back on November 15th of 2008. Exploration of the effectiveness of social distancing on respiratory pathogen transmission implicates environmental contributions. And that phrase, social distancing, has been one of interest. I know Adam Curry over at No Agenda was very upset about that phrasing, saying that it's a psychological mind control trick, basically. And I tend to agree too, because it's not social. It's physical distancing, not social distancing. But anyway, go ahead.
That's right. If you aren't listening to No Agenda podcast, you should do that. Adam Curry brought up a great point about the term social distancing being neurolinguistically problematic, because what we're doing is not social distancing. We're physically distancing. We are practicing physical distancing. Social distancing would mean, you
go over
are
there,
locking
be
yourself
alone.
up and you're not talking to anybody. You're not trusting anybody. We should not be social distancing. We should be physically distancing. So I don't know.
I don't know about you, Basil, but everywhere I go now outside, people are wearing something over their face, whether it's a mask or just a towel. Like people, it's like starting to look pretty apocalyptic out here, just driving around and stuff. So
I'm loving all the videos of people, making their makeshift masks. I saw a picture of a guy who had an orange peel strapped on his face. Lots of people with plastic bags over their heads. It's now you know who to really socially distance from. You can physically distance from everybody, but socially distance from the people with plastic bags over their heads. You do not need to be socializing with those people.
As if giant VR googly eyes are any better.
Yeah, I've gotten my own social distancing going on here.
Yeah, are you going to do this next one here? This
Yep.
Hospital.
You ready for the next one?
Yep.
Okay, so we're going over to theguardian.com. Astrophysicist gets magnet stuck up nose while inventing coronavirus device. I love this. An Australian astrophysicist has been admitted to hospital after getting 4 magnets stuck up his nose in an attempt to invent a device that stops people touching their faces during the coronavirus outbreak. Dr. Daniel Reardon, the hero we deserve, Dr. Daniel Reardon. A research fellow at Melbourne University was building a necklace that sounds an alarm on facial contact when the mishap occurred on Thursday night. The 27-year-old astrophysicist who studies pulsars and gravitational waves said he was trying to liven up the boredom of self-isolation with the 4 powerful neodymium magnets. I have some electronic equipment, but really no experience or expertise in building circuits or things, he told The Guardian Australia. Quote, I had a part that detects magnetic fields. I thought if I built a circuit that would detect the magnetic field and we wore magnets on our wrists, then it would set off an alarm if you brought it too close to your face. A bit of boredom and isolation made me think of that. Pretty smart,
sounds
actually.
plausible. It sounds plausible, but I don't know that it's, obviously had issues.
Yeah. However, the academic realized the electronic part he did the opposite and would only complete a circuit when there was no magnetic field present. I accidentally invented a necklace that buzzes continuously unless you move your hand close to your face. After scrapping that idea, I was still a bit bored playing with the magnets. It's the same logic as clipping pegs to your ears. I clipped them to my earlobes and then clipped them to my nostrils. And things went downhill pretty quickly when I clipped the magnets to my other nostril. Oh, man. Reardon said he placed the 2 magnets inside his nostrils and the 2 on the outside and then moved the magnets from the inside of his nose to the inside stuck together. Unfortunately, the researcher then attempted to use his remaining magnets to remove that. I'm just going to keep going because this is funny. At this point, my partner who works at the hospital was laughing at me. He said, I was trying to pull them out, but there's a ridge at the bottom of my nose you can't get past. After struggling for 20 minutes, I decided to Google the problem and found an article about an 11-year-old boy who had the same problem.
Wow, you really can find everything on the internet.
Yeah, science. He's doing science at the same level of an 11-year-old boy and got into the same problem as that 11-year-old boy. The solution in that was more magnets. I'm sorry. Wow. This is hard. To put on the outside to offset the pull from the ones inside. As I was pulling downwards to try to remove the magnets, they clipped onto each other and I lost my grip. And those 2 magnets ended up in my left nostril while the other one was in my right. And at this point, I ran out of magnets. Before attending the hospital, Reardon attempted to use pliers to pull them out, but they became magnetized.
The magnets inside his nose. Wow,
every time I brought the pliers
unreal.
close to my nose, my entire nose would shift toward the pliers, and then the pliers would stick to the magnet, he said. It was a little bit painful at this point. My partner took me to the hospital that she works at because she wanted all her colleagues to laugh at me. The doctors thought it was quite funny, making comments like, this is an injury due to self-isolation and boredom. Oh, man, the article goes on. It's quite long, but there you go. So, necessity is the mother of invention. He was really trying to do something great for us all, and he paid the price. Thank you, Dr. Reardon, Dr. Daniel Reardon, an astrophysicist. Maybe he needs to keep his eyes on the telescope and let the medical professionals work on the coronavirus stuff. But that's right. You're the hero we need, Dr. Reardon. All right. What else you got?
Reminds me of a time I got a bell stuck in my ear when I was in first grade.
Mm-hmm.
First grade though, so at least I got that going on.
What'd you get stuck in there?
A bell? Yeah, like this little
bell.
ringing
little jingle bell.
Yeah, jingle bell.
Yeah, I got plenty of Legos, but most notoriously in my family, I got a Cheerio stuck in my nose. That wasn't fun. But no, some super powerful neodymium magnets I would not want stuck up there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Are we going to try to do this Megachurch one? Let's do it quickly. And I think we're pretty much out of time here. But this is Fox 13 News. Tampa Megachurch pastor arrested after leading packed service despite safer at home orders. I haven't heard that phrasing necessarily. The pastor of a Tampa megachurch is facing charges after refusing to close its doors despite a safer-at-home order in effect in Hillsborough County meant to stop the spread of COVID-19. The sheriff says up to 500 people were in attendance at Pastor Rodney Howard Brown's Sunday service. Sheriff Chad Chronister and State Attorney Andrew Warren on Monday announced that an arrest warrant had been issued for Pastor Howard Brown. He faces misdemeanor charges of unlawful assembly in violation of public health emergency order. Goes on here, quote, they have access to technology allowing them to live stream their services over the internet and broadcast to their 400 members from the safety of their own homes, but instead they chose to gather at church, Chronister said during the press conference. I don't know, I'm just picturing like, it's just such a weird situation we're in now where gathering together is not allowed to the point where this guy is just so upset that the church members got together. And I understand, but it's
I don't know. There's a couple of sides to this. Of course, there's people out there who are upset that any churches are obeying the orders to not meet and moving on to Facebook. You know, regardless of what your thoughts are on that, I don't know the facts of where was this? Florida,
yeah.
In Florida, right? I don't know if they officially pulled permits or whatever, but it sounded like this guy, you know, was
what is it called? Arrest warrant. So I mean that's
right.
Yeah,
so
that's still pretty big deal.
He broke some sort of law, whether it's I'm sure it could have been a permit thing. You know, they could have got their permit pulled and still meeting, and
he
that
still
would,
he still met, and then Oh, there you go. I mean,
there you go. I mean, he knew what he was doing. I'm sure he knew that there was a possibility he'd get busted. And, you know, I'm sure he knew that it would make him sort of a hero. People who think
certain segment,
the whole church. Yeah. So there you go. But, you know, good for him. Somebody had to do it. His mugshot doesn't look great. He could have smiled in his mugshot, you know.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know.
They did arrest him.
What would you do? Would you smile?
Picture him. Rodney Howard Brown. He's quite the famous guy, huh?
Apparently. Cool. Yeah. So there you have it.
You know what? I think this was a media stunt, a good one, and one that we needed. But I think he knew this was going to happen.
So you think it was part of trying to take one for the team, for the church kind of deal? Like, hey, someone's got to step up and I can make my name.
I don't say that to put him down. I think he took one for the team. I think he knew this was going to happen, and I think he made a good point.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right that someone had to do it. So someone had to actually take the hit. You're right. I kind of agree with that. So let's wrap this up with the Nephilim update.
I don't see him as a victim. Okay.
Sorry, I stepped over your point.
Sorry. No, it's my bad. I was going to try to slip something in here real quick. I had this sent to me by one of our wonderful producers, Lynn. This was an article. Remember the whole hydroxychloroquine thing where there was some anecdotal evidence that was going to work, and then Trump said it, and then everybody got super mad at Trump for saying it because it wasn't approved by the FDA?
Yes.
And some guy drank fish tank cleaner.
Fish tank cleaner, but then the headlines said like Trump said it and blah blah blah. Yeah, the whole deal.
Yeah. Anyways, FDA, the FDA went ahead and approved hydroxychloroquine. So that's going to be yes.
But still, don't drink fish cleaner.
3 days later, they take it all back. Of course, that doesn't make people not mad at the president, but you know, there you go. Hydroxychloroquine is going to be tested live in hospitals in New York, and it's been approved by the FDA. So there we go. Fantastic.
Okay, Nephilim update. I'm going to get a clean intro in here.
Nephilim update.
This is just a little note that I found. It just mentioned the Nephilim because, of course, Eden Prime from Darksiders Genesis has Nephilim characters in there. So it says that there's some things here that are interesting about the Nephilim in terms of what they do here. And I'm just going to read it because, you know, you get to... We might want to think about playing this battle just to kind of check it out to see what's going on with it and like see how they're really getting people to get into the Nephilim and all that. But here
Sure.
it says, Astarte will summon a Nephilim. This is a slow-moving armored warrior with only basic slow melee attacks. They do have a ranged attack, but it's slow and doesn't have great range, and they don't use it often. The Nephilim have a lot of HP, but are not typically very dangerous. And there will be 6 Nephilim before the fight is over, and there's a side mission of finishing all 6 Nephilim with execution attacks.
Oh,
You know what?
yeah.
I had like a better part of this highlighted, but I can't find it now, and we're running out of time. But in any case, basically they have like Nephilim stuff going on. Oh, here we go. Use the an execution on every Nephilim resurrected by Astarte. So apparently you can like resurrect Nephilim in this game.
That sounds fun.
So maybe something to check
There
out
you
in
go.
terms of that, especially that Twitch feed. We might want to do something there
Eden,
specifically.
Darksiders Genesis, Eden Prime. Okay,
Eden Prime,
I'll check it
yep.
out.
Yep, there you go.
Okay, are you good? We got to get you
I'm
out of
good.
here.
I know. I got to.
All right, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry we had to cut the show short. This is the regular timing of the show, but I've gotten kind of used to going longer now, Gons. But
Yeah, I know.
we'll be better in the future. But we made it happen. And here's the thing, folks. If you're out there and you got friends and family who are not paying attention to the vital updates going on here at Canary Cry News Talk, you need to grab them by the cage and shake it.
Stop this progress before it is too late!
I want to shake things up, stir up some controversy, rattle a few cages.
Hey, stop that!
You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man, a crusader for the little guy.
Leave the bird alone!
Never. Rattle a few cages. Rattle a few cages.
I tried to tell you, but nobody wanted to listen.
That's right, folks. And remember, you can head over to patreon.com/CCNT to get all sorts of fun rewards and support your essential employees over here at Canary Cry News Talk. Here's the thing, folks. We do not believe in selling your attention to corporate interests for our own personal gain. The podcast will always be free, and we'll never do ads, even though we've gotten many chances, many offers, which sound pretty good at this point. But thanks to our listeners who believe in the value for value model, when they get value out of the show, they return value. And that's the only way. That's the economy we're moving into, folks. In the economy to come, you're going to just have to, if you believe in something, you're going to have to support it. And now's your chance. You can head to patreon.com/CCNT, and it'll give Gons and I the warm and fuzzies and help us through this difficult time. So we really do appreciate that. Also, remember, head over to canarycry.community. It is our off Facebook. We are free from the lizard people. Canarycry.community is our little social network you can join. You got to make an account, join up. All sorts of Canarians just like you, talking about everything that we talk about here and more, and getting together, praying for each other. Some people are even meeting in real life, which is going to be illegal here. It's kind of illegal already. As long as it's in small groups, Canarians should be getting together. Okay, that's it. Gons, any last words?
I think that's it. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And thank you in the chat, everybody in there. It looked like people were pretty nice in there today. So.
People are nice. Thank you, everybody, for being nice today. This is great. This is why maybe it's a product of us doing a shorter show. They don't get restless and mean.
They don't get so upset at your googly eyes.
Also, remember this. If you're watching live right now, go to any podcast player and search Canary Cry News Talk and subscribe, because we put these out on audio. We've been doing it for years and years. Search Canary Cry News Talk and subscribe. Make sure to leave a rating and a review. It really tells those iTunes artificial intelligence robots to share the show with other people, and that's very important, especially in these times. Thank you to the people on Twitch. We actually have somebody on Periscope too. That's amazing. You guys are the best. We will be back on Wednesday and Friday of this week, so make sure to tune in all over the internet. And thanks for listening to this episode of Canary Cry News Talk, and make sure to tune in next time on Wednesday. But until then, think outside the cage.